Now we reach to the last segment of our inaugural session.
Head Societal Outreach, CPS, Siri Pilani, Rajasthan, is also a chief scientist at Siri Pilani. He is PhD in electronic science from Pune University in the year 1999. His field of interest is intelligent real-time memory systems design and application, then soft computing for neurofuzzy modeling for smart sensors and systems, and instrumentation, control and signal theory. He has a uh, vast experience of 29 years in the development of real-time embedded DSP and PC-based intelligent control systems for the electronics application in the area of water, food, and agro industries. He has received different awards for his work. Uh, he, there are almost 6 awards to his name. He's received a Scotch Award amongst India's first 2000 among India's best 2015 in smart technology for RO automation for rural India, villages of Rajasthan in the year 2015 for Smart Technology Award on 11 December 2015. He received Excellence in Development of Technology for Water and Aqua Award 2014 from Aqua Foundation, New Delhi, in World Aqua Conference in 2014. He has also received a Best Paper Award in Second International Symposium on Physics and Sensors uh, in the year 2015. He also received a Best Paper Award in National Conference on Sensor Technology in the year 2002. He received Best Process or the Product of the Year in 1992 for his project UPS system as a team member. There, he has very vast number of research papers to his name, almost 71 national, international research papers he has published in reputed journals. Under his guidance, number of students are completed their masters and PhD. To his name, presently 60 students have completed MTech and MSc, whereas the 4 students have completed the PhD. So now I request Sashikant sir to start with his presentation. Sir, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So now today's topic is IoT application in smart agriculture. So if you see Indian agriculture as such, you know that India is having a large population, more than 1.2 billion. Out of that, 67% is a rural majority, and most are working in agriculture. And as I say that Indian economy contributes 50% in agriculture. So if you see the major crops, all you know that rice, wheat, etc. Mostly the India, you find that 60% nearly cultivated by rainfed and 40% is under irrigation. And if you see the rural poverty, so that is almost 40%, 40 to 45% in last decade. So here in India, particularly agriculture is a state subject. The policies of the province are also important. So what are the challenges? If you see the major challenges like land issue, low level education and skills, credits, etc., globalization challenges. But nowadays, in the last 10 years, you can see that the mostly challenges are impact of climate change, water problem is becoming severe, then diversification challenges. The people are still hesitate to go for other crops. They are going mostly farmers going there ancient style of agriculture. So there is really a need of diversification in the area to reduce the water and other resources. And risk and vulnerability is always there in agriculture. So if you see that my colleague Joshi, Dr. Joshi also suggested that in India second green revolution, what the suggestions that increasing the productivity of the agriculture and horticulture crop and bridge the present yield gap, then improving the economic status of the farmer through smart or mixed farming, other farm-based interventions, diversification of cultivation like high-value horticultures and commercial crop, ensuring the food and nutrition security. Then promoting the high-tech agriculture like use of IoT, IT solutions in agriculture. then supplying the quality of input in time, like seed, nutrients, etc. So for all kind of crops to avoid diseases, etc., disease attacks and all other attacks. So promoting the farmers' participation in agribusiness venture. At present, now the new bill government of India is already introduced, where now each and every farmer will be linked to the market. So he can do his own business, agribusiness, through his handheld mobile device. So then next is now strengthening the research and extension services. So now, apart from agriculture institute, many research institute, IIT, and nowadays education institute also started in research and development in agriculture area. What are the thrust area? So thrust area is now rejuvenation of soil health to increase the productivity. Then water management is more important because lack of water in many places of India. Only rain is the available source. So water management is a problem. Second challenge is supply and management of quality input like seed, NPK, etc. Then effective utilization of the input, that is important, whether it's energy, water, seeds, etc. So that also important. Increasing the net cultivation area, improving the farmers in. So what you required is like investment for increased capacity utilization of agriculture infrastructure and cost effectiveness. So particularly rainfed cultivation, rainwater harvesting to can be used, because rainwater harvesting mostly people use for drinking water purposes. Now in Rajasthan and many areas, the surface rainwater area is now started gathering. People are using for the agriculture to make more crop per drop of the water. So yeah, all students, you know that you people are working in an embedded system. Now embedded system has everything. Everybody knows what do you mean by embedded system. And at present era, you know that embedded system is almost in every area. And there are new areas also appearing, disappearing computing, ubiquitous computing, pervasive computing, ambient intelligence, cyber physical system, internet of things is already there. Now think about now agriculture computing, right? This is a new area that 2020 onwards you will have agriculture computing is a new area that will be starting and gaining the popularity. So basic technology like embedded systems and communication systems. So if you know that a typical embedded system, how it works, hardware, will always work in a closed loop. So there is some physical environment, like you take example like agriculture, soil, environment, etc., seed, etc. Physical environment is there. You require some kind of sensing, right? Then measurement, because A to D conversion. Then that data should be requires processing. Then you can visualize data, or you can take action based on the data set point to make on off of the actuator like pumps, etc., to deliver water, or make walls on off to select the particular area of watering, etc. So also the spraying techniques also, you can have a control spray of nutrient at particular places. So these are all a typical embedded system applications. I will not go in details because everybody has is learn about it. Now, what is the characteristics of embedded system? Typically, dependability. It is a single function, dedicated system. You so single program, tightly constrained, so that you have low cost, low power, small footprint, and fast execution, etc. Mostly battery operated systems are coming up very in large way. Thirdly, that all these embedded systems are working real time. So reactive and real time. There are two kind of system. One is hard real time and one is soft real time. So mostly, most of the systems are working in a soft real time system. Few of them really works in a hard real time system. So what is the IoT? Now, if you see as a basic, that is we are moving from Internet of People to Internet of Things. So if you see that Internet of Things is a plan to connect everything like people, subject, devices, all is connected through network. Okay. So this is the basic, you can say definition of IoT, that everything is connected. That things and human being also are connected. Things to things also connected through the Internet of technology. So we'll go quickly. Basically, what is IoT, then challenges, requirement, what is required for IoT implementation, and then a implementation and examples in agriculture. So with this, Now, what is IoT? So, as I told you, all things are connected through internet. So, physical object that can be have unified identity code. Okay, just like the student have ID code, right, in a class. Similarly, here also devices will have ID code, and that can send or receive data by connecting to the network. For example, building, vehicle, smartphone, etc., etc. Second is, what is IoT? Information gathering and communication. So it is more important is everything is sharing information to their designated endpoint through either through things or servers, information about status, actions, sensor data, and more. So all have unique ID attached to that so that you can know from the where data is coming. Third, IoT is about action and interaction. Once data is collected, then there are two concepts. One is either you can collect the information, process it, and just give the decisions. So there is no action, only decision support. And the second, collect the information, do analysis, and take the decision. That is automation, like a closed loop. Using either decision making can be done with a statistical algorithm, mathematical algorithm, or maybe current AI or machine learning, etc. So one is the monitoring and one is the monitoring and control. These are the two classes of application under IoT. So what I say as usual that today's picture, if you see the pictorial information, so you are having a human being which is having a sensors. Okay, every system is attached. So human is also communicated to the cloud, so he can take his health problem or whatever issue he want. There's similarly the cars, the other objects, buildings, etc. All are connecting together through cloud, and there is a database, and there are different judgment will be taken depending upon the need. So if you see the block diagram, you have so many devices. Previously it was connected with wire like RS482, 485, then maybe GPIB interface. So there was a wired communication, a wired internet. Now these things are coming up wireless internet or wireless connectivity. So in general, friends, there are two types of IoT. Is one is like called customer based IoT and second is industrial IoT, right? So both are focused on improving the efficiency, security with mainly return of interest, ROI. So nothing is free here. So whatever you deploy in the field, there should be some business. Then you can get the benefit either to farmers, direct or indirect, or to the developers. So in IoT, if you see that there is no limitation, okay, IoT is unlimited. You can connect more number of devices with IoT, right? So you can connect to the cloud or edge computers, decentralized or localized facility, or even with smartphones, or a combination of all above. So IoT allows a more flexibility and more scalability of connecting the devices together, connecting the devices in a various network. Also, you can have a bunch of devices connected with X network, bunch of devices say Y network. They can also communicate to each other through IoT. So this is a very positive point of IoT technology. And currently, you have heard about now 3G is almost everybody knowing allows you data speed up to 1 GPS on internet speed. Now 5G is coming. People are now coming. So in India 2022, you will get 5G also connections. So 5G eventually allows more than 20 GPS of speed. So you have a greater speed, greater flexibility, allowing everyone in daily life to be connected. Like billions of devices will be connected to the internet at any time. So summarizing, IoT is a connecting devices to exchange information in order to perform and optimize actions and processes. So this is a typical IoT definition in technical terms. So if you see that architecture, at the base level, low level, you have all devices, right? Sensors, systems, etc. Sensing and identification system of devices. So once you have devices, embedded devices, now next is how you are going to connect it. So networking technology, whether it's internet, WMAN, WPAN, or there are so many. So once you decide that network topology and connecting devices, then data gathering. So you have data center, data cloud or clouds. Then you may have search engines, smart decisions, all this application, data processing and decision application, data mining, etc. And now once you have packaged it, you are ready for this, 1, 2, 3. Then you have a cyber physical application. So larger application where IoT is a one part of cyber physical system, where you can have a smart grid, smart building, smart village, smart city, smart transportation. So bigger level application you can develop through utilizing the bunch of this from 1 to 3. So it becomes deployment becomes easy, right? Use the use of IoT architecture. What is requirement? So basically I told cloud computing. Cloud computing enables storage and processing of unstructured or structured data into real-time information. Then second is accessibility from anywhere, anytime. At present in India, particularly villages, it is very, very poor. Only 2G connectivity. This is a challenge for our engineers to you. You are the future generation of India. So this is a challenge how you can use FM or radio waves, that connectivity to the in a rural sector. So this are how you can make an interoperability of the all the networks so that everybody can be connected, whether it is 2G or 3G. It doesn't matter. You do not require 5G in villages, but you can have connectivity. Certain connectivity should be there. Now another issue is security. Security is an important factor. So confidential, sensitive information, because this data, it should be very, which is important for any business, whether agribusiness or anywhere. It should be protected. So that's why you should have a proper security. So this is also another area where student can have many jobs or many opportunities. Then lastly, the user experience. So the more the user experience, greater the use of IoT. Then you may have smart machines, as you know, Joshi sir told in their introduction. So smart machines are coming, smart devices are there. There's no who are they, what they are doing to do, even under failure, what to do. So all this device information processing and decision, little bit decision support, we call smart machines or devices. Then assets management, managing the assets of the cloud-based system or maintenance of IoT system functioning in time so that your this IoT enabled application should not fail. And then nowadays the bigger picture is big data analysis, because you have a when you are implementing smart city or with cyber physical system, you naturally you have a big data. The data may be authentic, may not be authentic, so you have to require a good quality of analysis, which data is useful and which is not. So data mining, smart data processing techniques, those students who have mathematical, statistical background or computer science background, they can do a large in this big data analysis using the current rules, current scenario that like neurophysics was there, is there, still will be there. Then AI techniques, statistical algorithms, even some of the ancient like process control algorithms still exist. So all this is required as a big data analytics at one forum. So if you want to implement, now what to do? Now let us say as a student, I have seen that many people take, from the website, they will copy something, they will collect something board and do application, and that's all over. That's all. Project is over, they get the marks, finish. They have become now B. But now, no, sorry. So you have to go if you really want to implement, that there should be some cautions. So first of all, what? Clearly set the objective. So if you don't know about IoT, so you take the help of experts. Figure out what exactly you want to do with IoT. What the portion. You have a problem, you know that this is a problem, whether it can be classified into IoT, whether IoT is really required for that, or whether wireless connectivity you can do that. Okay, so this is one thing, that what clearly you have to see the objectives, clearly define what do you want to achieve by solving it in short-term goals or long-term goals, and what is the best way of solve it. So advisable is all the people not to start randomly. So you can go gradually. Okay, whether it a teacher, students, or any implementer, IoT should be taken in a systematic way to get the success in time. For example, start with data analytic, acting on data, then just start automizing the process based on the data being gathered. If required, you may add machine learning. You see, nowadays there is a blind faith. Everywhere any student comes, start AI and machine learning. He does not know whether there is a need or not. Just like in a human being, you require water or you require food or not, you have to know. Then only you can put it. Nah? You cannot just randomly put machine learning, AI in everywhere. This is like a marketing business. That is something another job. But you as a problem solver engineers should know whether your system requires machine learning or not. Because it is not easy to implement it. It is also costly. Okay, affair, like implementing machine learning, it's not easy. So you have to really access clearly about your objective, what to do, why to do, and how we are going to do it. The second step, use the research test. If you know that you want now objective are clear, then you should now follow successful example. Now at present, there are successful example of IoT implemented in preventive maintenance, automatic refilling, resource management, asset tracking and management, environmental monitoring, and process control optimization. So where these are the proven cases, like in preventive maintenance, status of each and every device, wear and tear, how you can avoid damages. So there is a predictive maintenance as well as preventive maintenance. So this is already a classified example. Similarly, automatic refilling, tracking of fuel, oils level, then filter effectiveness, whether filter to be replaced or not. So all these things are already proven by IoT. That's a resource management, whether it's a gas, energy. So in a particular industry, you have to optimize energy utilization, water utilization, gas utilization, whatever required, to avoid waste and better use of resources. That is a need of today. Then asset tracking, tracking of asset, object, vehicle, etc. is now vehicle control, vehicle traffic control, or even delivery, even agriculture also delivery section. Each and every thing will be linked to the IoT. Then you have to track whether the material has been dispatched, whether it is placed in the right place or not, what is the material quality, stored in storage, whether it should be taken to the selling point or not. All this should be tracking, all this asset tracking and management. And then everybody knows that environmental monitoring is always there, whether it's humidity, water quality, soil quality, temperature, etc., pollution, gases pollution, etc. So all environmental monitoring processes are already there. And lastly, the process control optimization. So all these are the implemented steps. So the user or implementer should all go through it first so that he can have a very good idea of implementing the thing, what to do and what not to do. Third, decide on correct hardware. Now, once you decided what to do, why to do, then you have to select the hardware platform, hardware software platform. So, which may include hardware devices, sensors, etc. Then computing devices, whether you require edge computing, actuators, etc. All this you have to collect it and properly understand it. Then next one, connectivity. What connectivity is available? So, if in a region, whether there is a internet connectivity, what kind of connectivity, how many devices you want to use, whether you want to use Zigbee or Z-Wave or low-pan. So all that decision should be taken in a hardware implementation. And then you have to select the IoT tool platform to implement it. So the IoT platform which is available may be made in-house or obtained from the specialized supplier. So that is also a selection of IoT tools and platform. So that support should be at least for 5 years. So for successful implementation of your IoT in market. Then lastly is the prototyping, then while prototyping, IoT is not a single person job. So you may require certain, suppose you are a student of suppose electronics and you require help of other. So you may require expert in designing, project inception, design, prototyping. You may require electronics or computer engineer, embedded firmware to design, implement software, etc. You may require specialized software or IT solution to design, implement internet programs for particular security, etc. You may require in some cases automation engineer in automation control, etc. Manufacturing expert, suppose you have made a successful story, now you want manufacturing of that devices, then you should know knowledge of production process, needs, etc. Then telecommunication specialist, if you require a connectivity problem, if you have some connectivity of IoT, then it should connect to telecommunication specialist to how to deal with protocols, gateway models, which are safe and authentic for IoT data transfers. And in few cases, in a larger system, additional experts like data scientists to assist the data analysis, the quality control, even computer or AI scientists to implement machine learning, etc. So now what is the risk? IoT implementation, what are the risks? First is failure of implementation. It is almost, you say, in India or everywhere, nothing is successful in one step. So failure is, you feel that failure is large, but don't desperate. So failure of implementation is first risk. Second is internet failure, that I already told. In many areas, in particular villages, internet connectivity is still problem. Okay, so how to avoid it? So whether you want to send the data every time, or you can store in a disk, okay, or in a any square form, and then you can send the data whenever the internet connectivity is available. So that smartness in IoT should be there. Where when should be sending of data, whether internet availability, all, because you cannot just send data randomly every time. There is no need. So many processes are slow. So even if you send data in a 1 hour, 2 hours, half an hour, or maybe in some cases after 1 day of monitoring. Okay. So that depends upon what application you are doing. So say internet failure. The security, a third risk is very, very important. Security. So endpoint security, communication protocol, encryption, so on and so forth. So security is also important. Third, last risk is doing nothing. So you learn IoT, you show something prototyping, and that's all, finished. Just I told many students, just for completing the project, getting the marks, getting the degree, that's all. Forget it. Okay, I have done, I got A plus, B plus. So this is nothing doing, is a very high risk, and which I see in many, many students, young students of India. So that risk should be avoided. Other risk can be taken care, but this risk for depends on individual student or individual teacher who is teaching that subject, right? So these are the risk in implementation. What are the IoT technologies? Already I told that there are many hardware, communication tool, protocol, software ID, cloud platform. So these all I have picture shown, already discussed. So you may have a hardware board, any board, okay, where I already know Texas, whatever you available systems you have and support. So hardware, then communication, which is 4G, 3G, networking, etc. Then software ID, cloud platform. You may have this protocols, COAP, MQTT, whatever may be. So depending upon what kind of data you are transferring, what kind of processing you are doing, and also now data clouds are available like IBM, AWS, Azure, and so many nowadays. Google also. Now India also started, NIC. NIC India also started the cloud services. Apart from the government agency also, other agencies like ISRO and all, they have their own, but they are not available for others. But now at present, NIC CDAC started the cloud facility to mean many applications. So this is a typical IoT technologies what we have to do with the connecting the people or connecting the things together. Now, next. So once you have, now coming to the agriculture, right? What is now there, already there, and where the scope of IoT is there? Okay, it's like smart agriculture started in India right from 2000 onwards, 2004, 2005 onwards. So many government, state and central government initiatives are there. So mainly, if you see, now we have to see that where the IoT, for IoT opportunities, like soil sampling analysis. So there are central control laboratories, state laboratories, etc., soil analysis, etc. Now challenge is now to develop handheld devices, okay, using contact or non-contact sensing. Nowadays, X-ray, XRA, X-ray fluorescence technology, your handheld devices are coming up, non-contact for the soil nutrient analysis. There also have some sensors are there, NPK, okay. So or there are some kit also, field kit also available. So how that kit can be linked with IoT, okay, and how we can reduce this time, because taking the sample from field, doing analysis and giving judgment, it takes almost 1 or 2 weeks. So there is a opportunity here for the IoT implementation in soil quality judgment, right? Second, as I said, water resource management. Already there are so many strategies have been implemented to use the water efficiency use. right? Improving the water holding capacity of sub-basins, bringing more crops area under irrigation, IoT technologies like precision agriculture, sustainable initiatives, micro irrigation to be done. Thus, this is the second point is important for us. Third is identification, intensifying in integrated area. Now people are doing in a distributed way, individualistic way. So now the government of India, what bill has been sanctioned just last week, it is now allowing integrated, So if suppose in a Gram Panchayat, like take example in Rajasthan, in Gram Panchayat there are 3 villages, 3 to 5 villages, right? Around 3,000 households. Out of that, 50% are having land. Okay. So total land, if you see in a Gram Panchayat, it is around 200 hectares, 100 to 200 hectares. Okay. Now the people are doing the farming individually, so they required that cost individually. Suppose starting from preparation of land, seeding, cropping, watering, everybody is individually doing at random time, different time. So they required X plus Y plus Z plus so on the expenditures as individual. So naturally, what happens? What happens? So the cost is more, input cost is more. And if they do not get the selling cost, so they do not get the benefit. So that's why the reason becomes suicidal, because they take loans from the individuals of banks. So if they do not get the crops in time, or due to the water, another climatic problems, or their over watering, sometimes crop get, because of disease also impact. So they get losses in the production. So they do not have benefit. Now, one way is that how we can avoid other problems. Like, okay, that is one thing already people doing. The another is now through integrated management, if you have a services on the rental basis, and if you make a total panchayat one time, all are doing seeding, all are doing land preparation, cultivations, etc. All that pre and post harvest stages are done in an integrated way, right? With a support from the servicing agency. Okay. And if they sell the product at the same time collection, so naturally what happens? All their expenditures will be divided by X by N. Okay, X by N plus Y by N plus Z by N. So naturally the input cost will be less. Individual farmers will have less individual cost, right? And then if they get larger sale, suppose instead of selling individual farmers, say 10 boris of bajra or something, if they sell 100,000 quintal from the panchayat, so they naturally get more benefit, right? So this is what economics, and that is what how now this IoT mobile based apps and IoT will help to integrate the farmers. This is a challenge. Integrated management of agriculture smart way. So how you can do it? Apart from improving the water resources like farm, ponds, desalinating lakes, ponds perception, or sometimes crop management. So at present, how we can allow with a minimum water other kind of crops, because they are not motivated. Mostly farmers in the interior villages, they are not motivated. They are afraid of putting some crops. They do not have any support. So now how your IoT devices can help them. Similarly, smart rainwater harvesting. I told you in Rajasthan, almost 60% area rainwater harvesting for drinking water is already there, because in Rajasthan only groundwater is the source. There is no river water. Okay. So rainwater is that collecting the rainwater is now in Churu, particularly Churu district, Barmer district. If you see, apart from that is a field rain. So people usually do rainwater, see, agriculture by rain only. So only one reason, only one season. But now, if they store that water in field, so government has supported 30 70% like that, and they are now storing the water in rainwater in the field that can be used for vegetation. So vegetation, flower, so they can have another income. So use that small amount of water what is collected for vegetable or flowers in that region, specific region, so that they will get some money out of that, right? So agriculture, rainwater for agriculture. This is also one example. Then identification of cultivate less water intensive crops, etc. So what I can say, crop diversification. Agriculture scientists are there, KVK are there, but they are not reaching, unfortunately, to each and every farmers. Okay, that is a big question. Okay. Now, IoT in energy. Similarly, Government of India has successfully done large scale, because electricity in rural villages is a problem. So, solar power pumps, solar electricity, people have done lot of work. Similarly, solar based dryers. Okay, so this is also another area. Now, connecting these all services, okay, the solar based electricity and solar based dryers. Now suppose some farmer do not have that, okay, now the some farmer is already have electricity, how you can share it? Can IoT enabled devices make this sharing of, assets, I can say assets, like solar energy of one farmer to another, right? Or maybe dryers, okay, can the this dryer place at one location can be used by other. Okay, so this is how we can develop a mobile app and mobile hardware to utilize such already implemented, energy in like solutions in farmers, okay, agriculture. Second is infrastructure. Already people are, you have seen that government has already constructed many godowns. But that unfortunately, if you go visit that godowns, there are so many issues. If you go and talk to godowns, the agriculture scientists they are helpless. They do not have proper, sensors and actuators. Even the godowns are not properly controlled due to the rain, heavy rain. Sometimes due to the water leakages, the crop get damaged, store crop get damaged. Okay. So now cold storage or modern godowns require say IoT solutions. Okay. So this is one area where you can make a startup, okay, to provide IoT solution for such facilities. Then agro advisory network. So already this IT based network is there, voice operated or maybe pictorial in different language, already PDS, etc. Already under government IT forms, many places in Maharashtra, South, in particular Telangana, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, in Punjab, some part, but still there are large area to be covered. In also Rajasthan, also some already this kind of services are already there, which was done under information technology, which was boosted by Government of India and state government policies. Now with this information technology, how the IoT can club? Now this is a challenge. How we can use these existing devices or existing resources with all your IoT devices for crop input planning, advisory, crop health monitoring, marketing linkages, so on and so forth. So this is what another challenge. Then there is also touchscreen based kiosk, or maybe anybody can go. Suppose some farmer do not know how to write, read, so he can talk, okay, in his own language, and you can guess information. At present, these kiosks are not available everywhere. They are put at some KVK or some major farmers' house. It is not accessible to other farmers, small farmers. Now, how you can use this IoT to make availability of this resources to your smallest farmers. So this is all this kiosk, what voice operated or multi-language services, how we can use FM services. Already one of my students started FM services in rural area. He has taken licensing, he has put up a startup to make localize that Marwadi or so many variations are there. It is not exactly the Hindi or something, but he has developed that system to connect people to these all services. So this is also a employment and startup opportunity for students and those entrepreneurs. Third way. Next, mobile enabled service. Already I said that now all these servers, how it can be connected with a simple 2G mobile. And government also have planned almost most of the app developed by government are already working on the 2G phone. It is not required 3G or 4G phone. A simple 1,000 rupee phone, 1,000 to 1,500 rupee phone can have app. So this is all already going in that direction fast way. Then another online machinery. Now, as I said, the farmers do not have all equipments in his field. So he has to take tractors or all machines on rental basis. So now how we can, even though they are doing sharing, but they do it only community, like भाई बंधों में करते हैं, दूसरों को नहीं देते, है ना? तो अपने भाई बंधों में देंगे, अपने जान पहचान वालों को देंगे, दूसरों को नहीं अवेलेबल है. Now can you start this business, okay, in the panchayat? So you give on the rental basis, right? All this equipment, so that everybody can do in an integrated man, in like a precision agriculture, in a focused way, at right time, right place, and at right, location. So that is important in precision agriculture, and right amount also. Whatever you do in the right amount. So that's why to make success of precision agriculture, there already this information technology, IT solutions are there. And now the question is how to link with your IoT devices or IoT technology based devices with this existing infrastructure. So mobile based marketing support already, I will not go in details, already started. So now if you know the precision farming, now farmers are adopting this technology, but it is very slow process. If you see the farmers who have a major land like 100 acres, 150 acres, they are adopting this. But small or medium level farmers, still there is a challenge. Okay, so you have a satellite stationary data, sensors, equipment, everything is connected to GPS. But this is real picture in India. Still there is no hopes. Can we achieve? Let us next 5 years, can you be able to adopt precision agriculture throughout the India? Okay, for the suitable for in Indian environmental, soil and water problems. Not like foreign. Most of the companies just dumping the product from foreign. I know for greenhouse and majority thing, and they are not supporting. They will implement it, and within 2 to 3 years, government project ends. They will not support. And what the farmers are doing, they, because they do not have money, they do not have money for repair, for replace. So they have to just throw the technology. So the lot of government money is going west. They demonstrate, but it's not sustainable. Now this is the process how you can make sustainable things. How you can make a ROI. So there should be some ROI. There should be money so that the Gram Panchayat or villagers should able to make modify or correct the system. Okay, so that system which is implemented whether for water irrigation, whatever kind of application, water purification, that should be sustainable over a time period, right? So this is what a challenge in precision farming. So already many devices still are hand operated. Just see people in small farmers and mini farmers still they are using this hand operated devices. Now this is challenge to the mechanical, mechatronics people and IoT or robotics people. How these machines? You don't have to make a new robot. No need. Just there is no need. So already these devices are in market. Now people in Haryana, Punjab, they do jugaad, R&D. They do little bit R&D, localized R&D to work this system. But now, how you people can make some such a good arrangement to available this, so that the system productivity, efficiency can be used with your current state of art IoT devices. So agriculture machines, existing machines, how you can connect it and utilize for better IoT implementation in different stages of crop cultivation. So existing irrigation system, are they smart? There are so many, like my colleague also told, Jain Irrigation is one of the major player. They also implemented large systems in field. There are also foreign vendors also there. Now Mahendra also started in agriculture. But mostly this system, are they really smart? Because see, there are limited sensing, high cost, connectivity problem in villages, lack of input, region specific information, expert knowledge. If you want to implement all this, see that there also this system, ET manager and service provided, your irrigation system. So this is already available, but it is so much costly. Only the land 100 hectare or 200 hectares is only beneficial with this kind of systems. But how about small lands like 5 acre, 2 acre, 1 acre? So what about that? Can be think about system which is only applicable IoT system for small farmers. So they are taking, they are ready to put their whole, because they do not have resources. They cannot put money for all these resources. They are handicapped. Okay. And the maintenance is also handicapped. So how this also, you see, there are agri advisor services, the Kisan, e-Kisan, e-Chopal, Kisan Mitra, all these are available. Okay, Airtel services, TCS, nowadays Google services, but mostly this requires PC with internet connectivity required. Now here is a challenge, how you can make it mobile connectivity. Now most of the app are coming on mobile. Already NIC and Government of India, Agriculture Department already made available some of the app which are residing on 2G mobile. But now still there is more to do. Okay. Now smart irrigation becomes smart by knowing where to apply, what is the plant type, geometry, spacing, land space, whether so now it is not required that only technology, you have technology, you dump it. No, 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 no. You should understand science. So people are forgetting, particularly technology people are forgetting science. Science people forgetting technology. So that's why, just like husband wife, there is always a fight, and you are not successful implementation. There are many failures. I have seen greenhouse in many areas is failure because they are not understand the science, geometry, air. Just like our human being, we require air, sunlight, proper nutrition, proper food, proper take care. So everything science has to be understanding. So that's why you have to makes hand with also biological people or agriculture scientists who are having that domain of knowledge. We do not have domain of knowledge. Even some farmers also have little bit, but it is not depth. Okay, so naturally they have to be motivated. So where to apply water, how to apply, whether sprinklers, because already water is less. Also in drip also, which kind of drip should be allowed? Okay, sprinklers, which kind of nozzles should be traditional rotary nozzles, or maybe innovation in nozzle is required so that they can cover a large small field with the same nozzle, right? Because electricity problem, mostly groundwater is gone up to 300 feet, more than 300 feet. In Rajasthan, somewhere it is 600 feet. So even solar based pump is not operating because solar based pump is only 3 HP, 5 HP. But above beyond that, no, it is just infrastructure is lying about. That whatever government has put, it is lying in the field, unused. Why? Because the solar panel cannot drive 15 HP motors. 10 HP motor. At Rajasthan, mostly now people are using 7 HP and above because ground level water is gone up to 600 feet. So there are all this, hobby bubby bunky people failed in the field, is failure in the field. So you have to see that now water is already less. Where less water? How you cannot create water, right? Only rain or other, you can, whatever resources are used, you can optimize this, you can treat the wastewater. So here also we have suggested our Dalmia research group, Dalmia, then Piramal, all they are now coming in Rajasthan, they are putting all these efforts, how this wastewater or rainwater can be used for agriculture. Okay. So this is what's one challenge. Then when to apply water? Because in Rajasthan there is very, very, at the cold days, very, very low temperature, particularly Churu, it may go below 0 degree. Okay. Or sometimes hot like 48 degree. So now run time, when to apply water, start of the day, right cycle, soak. So weather sensors. Now putting weather sensors in a like rainwater, heavy, have you know what is the cost of this all the system? It is minimum 2 lakhs, 1.5 lakhs to a very sophisticated 3 lakhs. Where from it will be there? So weather station can be put at Gram Panchayat at one place. And based on that weather data, can you calculate evaporation transport rate exactly in localized way? So that you can know exactly for which crop how much water is to be given. So you don't require many sensors. You should have only flow sensor, and based on the flow or with this ET value, you should deliver the water. So time period. So smart time period arrangement. At present, people are giving only that solution randomly. Even that ET0 calculation, they do with a satellite data. The satellite data is a more large scale data. You require the point of data, how you can take. how you can take the point of data, that area wise you see that sometimes the prediction by weather department fails because of this, because what you require is a micro analysis, not macro. So micro analysis is required. So then solution is how much 100% coverage required through micro sprays, micro sprinklers, drip line, and even the drip lines are more costly. So people now here they are using used water, bottle waters, the plastic bottle waters. They are feeding and they are putting, that crop, and they are using that for the drip, right? So this is also one way. Okay, from west to watering the plant, because the tube is also costly. The maintenance of the tube is also costly. They cannot put that much, that much cost in the small fields. So total area covered. So that's why the solution should be number of gram panchayat at least 5. Total area covered more than 100 hectares. So then only the smart irrigation solutions can become a sustainable solutions and useful solution for the people, or I will say the farmers of India. So if you know, if a smart farming architecture, you have all this like a sensors, different kind of sensors are there: moist soil, optical type, chemical, electrochemical, location based, GPS based. So all you required is like a so many sensors. How you are connecting it, competing crowd. This is change. Now the drone also has a services in agriculture. Drone also becoming services in agriculture. So now with drone based data, now I said how we can do a micro, because drone at a little they can go very up to say half mile or one less than 1 kilometer height. So whatever analysis that should, suppose you put sensors here and do mapping, okay, because manually if you do it may require say 1 week, but with a drone we can cover 100 hectares or 200 hectares in one day. You can gather the data from drone and you decide the ET0. Okay, so daily or timely, depending upon the ET0 value changes, the watering demand changes, your smart controller put in the field, IoT field, should able to communicate with this drone. So drone can become effectively manageable to larger field, right time in a right place, avoiding even drone can be used also for spraying the thing, okay, nutrients or etc. Pesticides. If we, there is, so drone as a service is a future now aggregation. Okay. So now case study. Let us take as quickly case study. IoT enabled automation for greenhouses. So automation increases efficiency and decreases labor cost. That ultimately increases the crop production and uniformity, etc. So many advantages are there. What are disadvantages? Still, this large, upfront cost and operating expenses. This is the hurdle. Okay, greenhouses. Careful precaution must be taken to eliminate any pest, or that is pest and disease management is another area. Okay. So if you need, the challenge is temperature, humidity. Plant needs to be optimized for temperature and humidity. So different cooling, just like you see in India, there are 3 type of regions: plain and coastal, mild climate and coastal, northern place and short summer. So greenhouse condition, what is required? In plain or coastal, cooling required. Mild and climate coastal, naturally ventilation. And northern place which are hot summer like Rajasthan, UP, etc. Fan and pads, cooling and heating. So what is condition? If you have a condition, suppose say high relative humidity and high temperature, the what we get, bacterial condition, fungal disease. Okay, if you have a relative humidity 60% and high temperature, then there is a rapid mite attacks or insects pest development. So this is simple natural laws. So you can use your IoT solutions, mobile or whatever may be. So take a early decision, quick decision, so that the farmers should not lose their crop because of these effects. So this is what exactly. Third, as I said, many greenhouses are not properly arranged for light and ventilation. So that's why it is improper growth in the greenhouses. So greenhouse is totally failure. That's people are showing demos. I have seen many greenhouses fail because they are not able to have a proper light and ventilation. Although they have good watering system, but will optimum use of water, soil moisture, because they put only one soil sensor or 2 sensors limited, because cost is involved. Okay. Now, how you can reduce the number of sensors? This is another challenge with the IoT, how you can use a number of sensors, number of actuators, how you can control the airflow in all greenhouse, okay, or maybe in a structure like, go downs, how you can ventilation or proper, how you can control hot and cold air. Then in agriculture, fertigation, how you can add nutrient required, in that particular plant, over whether nutrient should be applied to the whole field or only specific field. Because at present farmers are doing randomly, they are applying for all. So over fertigation also is cost. Just like in human being, if overdose of anything or less dose of anything is also affecting. Similarly, crop also like human being, if there is overdose or less dose, both are affected. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So this is already I have said. Now already people started in India also, robotics and drone are being used for smart farming, right? In particularly all the stages like keeping the seeds, sprays, fertilizers, remove machine constraint, focus on the plant need, farm management and information system. Particularly 4 stages: crop establishment, crop scouting, crop care, selecting, harvesting. So these are already successful example of agriculture robots. So if you can see few of the example, I will go quickly. It is already available. So autonomous robots are people use, even also mobile systems like small or larger. So it will be applicable to the different stages of cultivation of crop, soil mapping, or maybe decision based on the whether the pesticides to be used or not. So all this robotic intervention also have been done, but now this is also still India, not every places. Few places are successful places in robotic. Now drone as a service, I said the smaller services or drone with camera, whether RGB or infrared or multispectral camera, can be used to identify the plant stress factor, soil type, fertilizer, insecticides, different plant species, recognize other plant soil chemical condition, while thermal imaging can help to detect water source and water degrees like ET0 calculation. Okay, so only imaginary surface, imaginary from the imaginary devices you can have, whether infrared, IR, multispectral or thermal. You put on the drones and you can have a mapping of whole area. Okay, you can decide exactly larger area how you, where the watering is required, what kind of watering you can do, or where the pesticides are to be used. So all this drone as a service is becoming a faster. Similarly, you can have plant count per acres. How many plants are there in per acres? Okay. Then also you can have a plant stress measurement by using multispectral analysis, cross visible and near visible infrared, NIR and IR, the crop nutrient deficiencies. You can judgment over a large area. Then you can have pest infestation station or dehydrations. So all this you can do under plant stress management. Then yield potential mapping. So combines both factors like is contribute of yield, helping the producer to plan harvesting. So if producer knows what is demand, what is required in area, how many kind of crop is there. Suppose in particularly this season, you can just like हम बोलते हैं cotton is there. Cotton, how much cotton is grown, how much cotton is will be output will be there, how much it is affected. Similarly, the other is what like bajra. So how much bajra is coming up, whether it is good quality or bad quality, what kind of variety it is there. So all these kind of things can be yield potential mapping can be done. Handles all process all this. So drone not only for data collection, as I said, so drone can be used for decision support also as a control. So you have I explained visual band, NIR, multispector for plant and soil analysis, height growth, health, vegetation index, irrigation, properly moisture, erosion, etc. Thermal imaging can help for plant and soil analysis, for helpful for irrigation practices, maturity, plant maturity and temperature control. Laser scanning, that is also laser scanner also used for plant and soil analysis, like height growth, how much height the plant is growth, whether it is growth is even or not, topographical mapping, etc. So what we required, whether you have a 2D or 3D imaginary multi temporary analysis. So what is opportunity here is advanced management and organization of work, particularly in irrigation, fertilization, and necessary treatment. So here, my friends, what you require, you have a ground level connectivity of IoT device. Now, how you can connect these IoT devices with drone services? This is mapping. Okay, you have to connect sensor network to with the drones so that the drone can give the control command to the controllers. At present, it may be a farmer, it may be ET0 based. That there is one angle that the drone is giving command to this controller, different region. Okay, so drone is not only for data collection but also control. So UAV, so what we can in general, plants vegetation index, plant growth, counting for plants. Similarly for soil, temperature, soil mapping, water issues, irrigation system, ground erosion, modification, topographical survey, all has been done with satellite data. Already that data, but satellite is not available all the time. It cannot go every time zone. So it is a zone specific. Every time is the zone specific. Also the limitation of camera. Satellite cannot go to meter, only go up to meter size. But drone can go millimeter size. This is the advantage of drones. Okay. So this is what next generation of smart farming with drones. So what is status in India for drone use in agriculture? ICAR already institute already started Sensigiri project. Okay, in 2016 to produce indigenous solution fit for Indian farmlands. Private player like Cient already plant nutrient and health analysis of 10 acres of land. Mahabhunagar, Telangana already successfully last year. So presently, Drone Agro provides technical assistance by deploying custom-based drones across the farms, helping farm owners for cost rupees between 400 to 800 for each acre. So variable as they need. So even in India, in Maharashtra, now stick Pune and other organizations, also Pune organization. So such kind of thing, I think in North Maharashtra, so somebody should start launch to as a different platform. They have providing all bundles like embedded system, electronics, server, etc. to help farmers. So, but what is the still the problem? Connectivity is a challenge to focus on rural area. Indian rules need to be refined, but security, because drones are used for everything, now marriages, etc. Everything. So now the drone data also requires safety, secured all. So it cannot be, it should not be misused. So their security also one is. So Indian government has to formulate some rules for this kind of data logging by drones. Then finally the spreading of awareness among the masses, especially in rural area, for adaptation of these technologies, use in automation, automated irrigations, and chemical pesticide distribution, etc. So what is the benefit you are going to get, with IoT, IT, and drone or my robotic platform? What you are going to get by benefit is that cost optimization through integrated management, not localized. Sorry. So we should think about Gram Panchayat, integrated agriculture. So the cost optimization is there, decision weight control, early detection, time saving. Mostly important is time saving. So crop scouting and field management, improving the efficiency. So in data collection and field focus, the efficiency of data will be increased, and with security, you can able to get valid data for large field, right? So what are the challenges for the friends, those who are listening, okay, on the me? So IoT, smart farming technologies. So we have to develop smart handled field specific devices for soil analysis, seed analysis, and environmental modeling. So this is one challenge. Then I said drone based this image, drone as a services. Can you become a service provider? Can you develop drone based services in your region? Okay, for mapping, crop scouting, and plant health, etc. Then AI, the other platform is AI and data analytics. Algorithm for descriptive diagnostics and predictive analysis using domain specific, I said region specific or domain specific knowledge and data driven models. So there may be a multiple information from farmers, maybe in the form of language. So data may be in the form of photos, data picture your form. It may be on the, data may be on digital form, a data may be from sensor form, a data may be from what I say, but voice data. Okay, so all kind of data is there. Now data from agriculture expert, data from human expert, or the time period they have expertise. So how this multiple data input, that is multi input multi output, right? This is a typical example of implementation of neural networks using fuzzy techniques and all, our latest data driven techniques. So all this is to be necessary for the region specific smart irrigation control development to conserve water and save land as well as water. Okay, so automation of existing cold storages and greenhouses, like crop specific storages. So this is another challenge. And mostly one where now we people are working on this with all already. This consortium has started by under agriculture department and scientists, all industry, all our people are working on standards for sensors, systems and agriculture smart product. So what is standards? At present there is no standards. There are many type of sensors available. People are using different kind. Mostly people are deploying from the foreign countries. So there is no support, after 3-4 years. So what you require is a make in India. How we can make sensor systems and actuators all in India. So that is the goal by 2022 or 2025. So if you see as a agriculture, as I said, agriculture, if AI CPS architecture, typical, it is taken from Aneka cloud application. So agriculture as a services, you have farmers input, agriculture officer input, agriculture expert. So all details, crop details, weather information, soil, pest, fertilizer, everything you gathered. So you have node, monitor, data collection from different network, etc. Big data. So you have analyze, plan, action, execute, and effectors. So all these are domains. Big data analysis, you have data processing, data cleaning, data integration, data conversion, data reduction. So only important data, which is application specific data, should be there. Then classification, information, interpretation. Then you have automation, taking decision. Okay, at right place, right time, right? And then you are also here also you have quality of services manager. Then this quality of QS for automatic resource management, resource provider, resource scheduler, performance scheduler, alert generation, and you have a resource pool. So this is, I say, AI CPS, it is a big investment which is not going to help a small farmers unless you have a integrated agriculture, integrated smart agriculture, and companies, education institutes, R&D institutes, and different sensors, actuators, all should together come and deploy their product as a services. Then only the farmers of this India will be happy. Okay, small farmers or middle farmers, they will be benefited by this, by use of AI, I say CPS architecture, which involves IT as well as IoT, both with embedded system, right? What are the challenges? I said this IoT is not easy thing in a large scale. So investment cost involves adding, modifying existing hardware, hiring specialized personnel, building infrastructure, etc. Then obtaining hardware. So suppose some sensor failed in the field after 2 years, what is the guarantee? How you can replace sensor availability, system availability, hardware, software upgradation, platform, overall that security, data sent to cloud, security connections, facility, etc. Lastly, infrastructure, obtaining employment, why technological communication infrastructure, database, Wi-Fi, network coverage, fast internet. All these are the challenges at present. Particularly, it is not for city. City are successful example. Even some major farmers having land 100 hectares or more are benefited. But question is, my dear, small farmers and middle level, that is large. So if you want to make agriculture economy as an impact in a Indian environmental, so you have to think of large scale integration. Okay. So that's why I suggest A Gram Panchayat. A Gram Panchayat is a nodal, not individual farmer, not individual village. You have to think about a Gram Panchayat where at least 3 to 5 villages covering more than 200 hectares of land. If you do such a management, then I think the IoT will really will help. IoT, IT, and all embedded systems, whatever the state of art technology will not only improve the life of the farmers, but also help farmers and other community, village community in a sustainable option where they will provide not only the field services, also watering services, water, potable waters, other rainwater harvesting schemes, etc. So IoT itself cannot work together. It works with a different friends and different technologies. So IoT may be a main one challenge, but whether to put IoT or not. So sometimes, jokingly, I always tell some of the student, what do you mean by IoT? So student don't give correct answer. I always tell jokingly, I am out of technology. Say. So student has to say, I am out of technology. That is IoT. So at present, we are IoT means we are out of technology. Okay. So now how we can understand IoT better way, how we can use IoT better way is requires a good perception, not for student, for also teachers, scientists, even public sector people, as a technocrat, small, medium scale industries, all has to do such kind of efforts. And moreover, technological standardization is in most area still remain fragmented. So I think next bill you will listen by 2022 because at present there are so many hurdles in standardization. Already in some areas, in air pollution, water, already standardization documents are made. But agriculture is still, it is not covered in a fully way. So technological standardization in most area is still a challenge. Managing and fostering the rapid innovation is also a challenge for government. So that day by day you see IoT platforms, IoT is changing. So can you change every time? So now how your present hardware, I said, or existing hardware can be scalable or I can be integrated with the latest state of art devices. This is a big challenge. Okay. So this is challenge of IoT. So what will the impact? Overall impact of smart agriculture, more crop per drop of water through improve efficiency of irrigation technologies, use of drought tolerant crop varieties to reduce irrigation needs, cultivation of more flood tolerant crops, because flood is also one area. In Maharashtra, some area in north also, due to flood also we get wasted. So flood tolerant crops, use of smartphone technology to the farmers, weather and crop data to save water, reduce water consumption by between 20 to 70%, improve root activity through drip or sprinkler solutions, optimizing the quality and yields, increase profit by increasing the quality and optimizing yield profit, then increasing the stress, how you can reduce the stress, better water management, better nutrient management, save pumping cost. If you reduce the pumping hours per day, naturally you reduce the pumping energy. That way, pump bill to the farmers. Reduction of carbon. Similarly, carbon emission. So naturally, if pump operation is reduced, naturally CO2 will reduce and the carbon emission will reduce. Then save fertilizer. So use fertilizers only where they are needed. Use pesticides where there should be needed. Try to use more latest technique like biofarming, biofertilizers, etc. so that to increase the crop health. So with
Mhm.
this, I think let us save water and
Very
agriculture
good.
food for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So any questions? If there is a time, otherwise you can send me on email. I will reply to each and every question, student, because there may be a less of because you people may be hungry because already there is lunch time. So I have taken a lot of time. Sorry for that. But if you have some questions, directly you can send to my on email ID. Sir is having my email ID. He will send you all of you. So whatever help required, I will do to level my best. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir, for giving us the brief idea about the IoT for agriculture. Now I will take some of the questions asked by the participants in the chat. So on
Yeah.
behalf of them, I'm going to ask that questions to you.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please.
Yes, sir. Professor Vikram Ingole has said that you have talked about the risk of Internet of Things to implement IoT, risk of Internet to implement IoT. So how this risk will be taken care to implement IoT, especially in agriculture?
Yeah. So basically, what you required is no in agriculture. So what you have to decide, either you have to there are different platforms are there which provide security already inbuilt security to the data. But now that platform uses whether it is necessary or not, it depends upon how much area you want to irrigate. Okay, how much sensor you want to connect. So for small sensor, small field, you need not require any high encryption or data services. You can decide your own, your own topology of sending the data, right? So authenticity already, some of the tools provide that user interface with the security, where you can put small like a data encryption security provided by some service provider, or you may add your own tagging number, uh, data tags, etc. differently than data while sending the data command or data uh, information. You can add other kind of handshake signals or handshake data, so that you can decide when transferring data, so that nobody can understand whether this is a command data or sensor data, or whether so this kind of architecture is well known as a basic tool of communication, which you can implement in a data security. Or otherwise, what platform you are selected, if they have provided this data security, it is very good. So because they already have that structured data, structure authentication, identification, signatures, passwords, etc., all they are providing. So with this, I think with the password and all this authentication provided, I think you can secure the data. That is one thing. Second thing is that your data should not be put at one place. Okay, that is by my experience. You should keep data at 2 3 places. So sometimes even if it is attack on one site, okay, so data lost will not be harmful in decision. So you have another data. So that's why whatever embedded system we have developed, we have a SDA card. Okay, so we are storing at SDA card localized data, as well as ESQF from some crucial data in ESQF forms, and also some data which are on the cloud. So the major important data which are on which you want to take decision, suppose set point, etc., you should keep in a ESQF form or in a localized SD card. You should not keep your set point or your data on the cloud. Okay, because cloud may be affected, it can be hampered, cloud data can be taken off. So cloud data only you can take data which is not so much important. So suppose in irrigation, eh, making on a pump time based or sensor based irrigation, so where there is a set commands. Okay, so set commands should not be placed on the cloud. Okay, it should be, many people do this mistake. Okay, on the mobile base, sometimes they put mobile set commands. No, so mobile also can be hacked. Okay, so the crucial decisions where you take decisions should be localized data storage. But that is square from that cannot be taken. You cannot get hampered by your localized data stored in the SD card or square from. So this is my suggestion to secure this at present uh, for the IoT securities. Yeah. Next.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I hope you have answered the question. You have answered the question asked by the participant. Now I take the another question. Uh, Mr. Purushottam has asked this question that you have talked about the IoT for the Gram Panchayats. As we know, there are small farmers are more in numbers. So how to implement IoT in agriculture?
Correct.
Sir,
Yes.
his question is how to implement IoT in agriculture for small farmers.
Yeah. So basically, as I suggested, you have to take a gram panchayat in that, because in most of the gram panchayat office there is a PC. Okay. Okay. You can make it as a server. Okay. Most of the gram panchayat have PC or they have budget for the digital budget for this. So what gram panchayat should have? So they should have at least one server, one PC, on which you can have a connectivity of IoT devices. You can put web-based application on that PC, where you can have a data in a large scale, okay, from the different fields all together on a single platform, and that you can use as a cloud and server at that places. And even also that what I said, this climatic monitoring, like water, sorry, humidity, temperature, rainfall, etc. Environmental, you can put at the gram panchayat. So in a gram panchayat, based on that data, there are different models. There are different equations, already well-known equations. I will not go in details. If you require, I will send information to necessary person. So these are ET0 calculation. Okay. So based on that ET0, you can calculate the ET0 for the crop. And you can actually measure in field. How to measure ET0 also, there is a standard practice. So you can measure in a field, and you can measure based on the data. Okay. The like water, rainfall, humidity, temperature, and then dew point, etc. So all this information will helpful to calculate the ET0. So based on ET0, then you can have a field localized on a selected field. You have tagging of the field. So based on that tagging, you can say that but this field and this is the crop, so it may require this much amount of water. So there are standard documents. You can calculate ET0 minimum, ET0 average, and ET0 maximum. So based on that, minimum water required, average water required, and maximum water required. Because at present, almost people are using 2-inch pump pipeline, but the pump are different capacity. Some may use 5 HP pump, some may use 3 HP, some may use 15 HP. So water delivery is different. So you have to only, you can use a water meter, okay, water level, so like water sensor, okay. So how much watering, and then manual wall, maybe you can control through IoT, or you may have manual wall, or you may have a control wall of big size, say 3 inch or 2 inch, 2.5 inch, and then we can have a distributed manual wall. Because what happens that farmers, even they have sprinklers, they do not have sprinklers all the way, since water is less in the well, and there is no sufficient pressure. So mostly farmers put drip. Drip line is continuous. For drip, it is not a problem. But for 3 HP pump is sufficient. If you have tank and 3 HP motor, so you can give a drip irrigation, right amount water to the plants at right time, based on the ET0 value. So drip, for drip, it is not proper. For sprinklers, it is a heavy cost. So sprinkler, they have only one line or two line. So they operate on one line or two line only. So for that, you can give this judgment on the, you can say zone wise. Okay. So if you have a ET0 calculation or on the say 1 hectare land, you can divide that in a different zones. Okay, depending upon the watering they are doing daily by sprinklers. So sprinklers are, because still, because sprinklers is mostly people in the Rajasthan side, people still they directly use the pumps. So drip is very costly for putting the infrastructure. So that's why still they use only sprinkler lines to cover all the area, small or large area. Okay. So for that, pump with a only pump protection is also another area. We got three-phase pump get harm in the villages. The three-phase line voltage problems are there, earth problem is there, phase reversal is there, over voltage there. So pump protection is not there in many places. Similarly, most of the plant pump in villages start when the power comes automatically. There are auto starters. Okay. So that also makes horrible. If suppose there is a low voltage ST line, voltage is low, and pump, all the pumps started immediately, then there is a failure of transformer, or there is a failure of fuse. So the person has to go and make the switch over. So by that time, your water time is wasted, because most of the villages, the water time may be 3 hours or 4 hours in night or day or something. So when pump are started automatically, but this automated started with delay. So this is another area where you can, how you can make a IoT device system with a delayed start. Suppose in a that gram panchayat, if you have 100 farmers, 100 hectares, okay, land, so each maybe 50% have pump. So that 50% pump you can start at different time using IoT. Simple pump start. That also saves the water as well as the damage of the pump. So this, I am just telling you a few example, because due to lack of time, suppose you want very more details. So whenever I come in Maharashtra, I will tell you in details, how you can go that. So with that, I think so there are so many ways you can do it in a gram panchayat, as a office, as a centralized office, okay, and data collection. So having internet at one place, and then you can use platform or RF platform to cover larger field. Okay, because now up till now LoRa was not accessible to India, but now LoRa platform has come, so you can have a RF radio frequency where that can be connected to with a LoRa up to 1 kilometer line of sight, more than 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer with repeated nodes also. So this way you can cover a large field. Okay, so gram panchayat as a portal and villages, and then you can schedule. Okay, so for watering at one village at this time, watering for another village at this time. So depending upon the water availability and rainfall, you can make a centralized decision to the centralized controller to whether to water it to be done, watering to be done or not. Similarly, pesticides, whatever may be, because some things are one time only. Okay, seeding, etc., nutrient putting is one time. So whether you use a drain as a service, similarly, so panchayat can put drone, okay, and they can give
Okay,
this
sorry.
farm equipment
Thank you.
also.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where I can say that the gram panchayat can help to make a integrated farming system. Okay. Yeah. Any other
Thank you,
question?
sir. No, sir. Actually, most of the questions the people have asked are already covered in your answers. So we'll stop here. So thank you, Shashikant sir. You have given a brief idea about the smart farming, then different challenges in the smart farming. We also given a brief idea about how we can have the IoT implementation risk. We have seen that the people has to take the risk of development of product from the prototype. Sure that the participants they are from the academics, and sure they will try to implement their undergraduate and the postgraduate projects into the product. They will also take your what are the different challenges you are shown for the agriculture. They will take these all challenges as their research project for either undergraduates or postgraduates or even a PhD project, so that in future they can develop different technologies in IoT. We have also understand how this what is the status is there of IoT in India, and now people can use the drones and robots for their agriculture. The one thing that we understood that we have to work for large agriculture area, not for the small farming. That because that will change the lives of the farmers. So with this, I would like to thank Dr. Shashikant Sadisab sir for his wonderful presentation. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. And another suggestion is for teachers. They might be knowing, because there is just like for student, different department give startup, challenges, etc. Funding. Similarly, UGC is giving funding to the teachers. Do you know that? Worth rupees minimum 5 lakh to maximum 15 to 20 lakh. If you suppose any professor who is doing PhD and want to make their lab, apart from this Atal Yojana and all these things, there is a funding from DST, DBT, and Agriculture Department, and even CSR also fund for teachers. So those who are doing PhD or those who have completed PhD and want to implement something in a campus or nearby campus, so that will now help the student also get motivated to implement, through this project. They get some money also, and that way, you can promote your science and technology in nearby, not only in education system but also nearby to your villages and farmers. So that also can be done with the funding from the UGC, CSR, and this. So for that, I think my request to the principal sir and head of the department, that you should motivate your lecturers also, lecturers or professors, assistant professor, to get the project funding from the different agencies. With this, I think thank you very much for listening, and thanks for your invitation and all. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. Now, this session is over. So we'll have a break of 15 minutes and then we'll start with the another session. Thank you, all the dignitaries who are present for this session as well as the participants. Thank you, all of you. Thanks. For the next session, the meeting link will be the same. There is no change in the meeting. So you please join the same meeting link again in next 10 to 15 minutes.